Good evening. The regular City of Romulus Council meeting is now in session. Can we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, City Council members, Mayor Burcroft. Our City Treasurer is not here, but to our Deputy Clerk, Chief of Staff, and Administrative Staff, and to our audience, welcome to the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting. We hope everyone had a wonderful 4th of July vacation. Today's date, or holiday, I said vacation, but today's date is Monday, July 6, 2021. Members of the public wishing to participate in this meeting, you may do so under the public comment portion of the agenda. You are welcome to fill out a request to speak public comment card, which is located on the table in the back of the chambers, and hand it to the deputy clerk. And at this time, Madam Chair, we will have roll call. Councilwoman Abdo is excused. Councilman Barton, excused. Councilwoman Roscoe, excused. And then Councilwoman Talley.
Here.
Councilman Wadsworth.
Here.
Councilwoman Webb.
Here.
And Councilwoman Williams.
Here.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum for
Thank you.
tonight's meeting.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
The council meeting agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda. Number 2, minutes. Number 3, petitioner. Number 4, chairperson's report. 5, mayor's report. 6, clerk's report. 7, treasurer's report. 8, public comment. 9, unfinished business. 10, new business. 11, communication. And number 12, adjournment. And a motion would be in order to accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented. A motion to accept the agenda, please.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, to accept the agenda as presented. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Number 2, minutes. Agenda item 2A for approval are the minutes from the regular meeting held on Monday, June 28, 2021.
Madam Chairman, I will move that we approve the regular council minutes from June 28, 2021.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb, to approve the minutes from the meeting from Monday, June 28th. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Agenda item 2B. This is approval of the minutes from the special meetings held on Monday, June 28, 2021, at 6:45 p.m. to discuss the enhancement and enrollment into the RAP Option 1 program.
Through the chair, if I may,
Yes.
I'd like to make that motion to approve the minutes of June 28, 2021.
You get a support?
Support.
Thank you. It's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Williams, to approve the minutes from the special meeting held on Monday, June 28th. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
There are no petitioners on the agenda. Takes us to number 4, the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, before I go into my report, I want to yield the floor to Councilman Williams. Council Member Williams. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Talley. I would ask tonight that the council here would approve a memorial resolution for Jonathan C. Kinlock. His brother, Solomon Kinlock, is also the pastor of our Councilwoman Tina Talley, and also my son. Their mother passed away, and I'm requesting as a member of the executive board for every city in the 13th district, which is 12 communities, to do a resolution for the Kinlock family. So I would ask my council members to approve our city, our council members to approve that
Support.
resolution.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been motioned by Ms. Williams, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for a memorial resolution for Ms. Janie Kinlock. Any discussion? I have a few words. That is my pastor. Thank you for that, Ms. Williams. Thank you for your work you're doing on behalf. And Ms. Janie Kinlock, she was just an awesome,
Yes.
awesome woman. And just prayers for the Kinlock family. This is going to be a difficult time, but with prayers.
Yes.
Prayer works. So amen. So thank you, Ms. Williams. Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved. At this time, I'm gonna yield the floor to Mr. Wadsworth.
Thank you, Councilwoman Tina. I would like a memorial resolution for a Mary Elizabeth, her last name was Krampitz. And if somebody will support it,
I will support that.
You said Rampants, what's the last name?
Krampitz.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
She was she was a lifelong resident of Romulus. She passed away on the 18th of June. I believe the service has already been taken by Crane's funeral home. But she was the mother and the mother-in-law of Kevin and Betsy, and we both know who they were. And she was a lifelong resident of Romulus, and she was a good person, and she will be missed.
All right. Any other discussion?
I just have one thing to say to Betsy, the family. My heart goes out to you.
Thank you. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that memorial resolution for Mary Elizabeth Krampus is approved. That takes me to a couple of things I would like to cover under the chairperson's report. No special meetings today. First day back into the chambers after over a year. Pretty exciting. So good to see faces. Would love to see a few more faces. We kind of caught some heat last week about not getting back to work. So I just want to say this, that even though we're back in the chambers, we never stopped working. There was always work going on, even when we were on Zoom, the administration, the council, work was always being done, even though we were not in the council chambers. So, but we're back. So, and I just want to say at this time too, just want to just send my heartfelt apologies to the residents. There was some residents who reached out to me regarding last week's council meeting. I just want to just say to them that your concerns you expressed were heard and duly noted. And we just want to strongly encourage you to continue to attend the council meetings. We're open now, so just come on in and attend these meetings, as many meetings as you possibly can, to stay plugged in and stay informed about our community. And bring solutions as we continue to try to move our city forward. We're out of pandemic now, so hopefully we can move forward with some exciting things. There was some exciting things going on in our city in the midst of a pandemic that I think was pretty unprecedented for a city in the midst of a pandemic, so it's exciting. Thank you, Mayor, and your team, the council, everything really working together to keep our city moving forward, so thank you. And on that note, I want to just do a shout out to my colleagues up here. There's a lot of buzz in the news about infrastructure, a lot. And so we passed the bill. I felt we're proactive. We passed a resolution last year in August regarding infrastructure, the infrastructure bank. And as you all know, a lot in the news about infrastructure. Our Congresswoman has got our project on Pennsylvania on the U.S. House bill that's gotten attention. So I think that's a huge win for our city. And I just think we just want to just say shout out to our Congresswoman for what she did. Got our name on the U.S. House bill. I think that's pretty significant. So shout out to our Congresswoman. And as we continue to work together regarding infrastructure, I want to shout out to our Chief, Director Kraus. When we talk about infrastructure, we had a bunch of rain last weekend. And I was on a call where I heard about cities that were really hit hard with this rain, Dearborn, Garden City, and when I talked to Director Krause, he was like, he didn't say these words, but it was like, it's under control. So it was good to hear that, know that, the team working together, and also being available to help our neighboring cities as well if they were in need of help. So thank you. Infrastructure is important, infrastructure is key, and we have to invest in infrastructure. So thank my colleagues for passing that resolution last August, and thank our administration, our team, the mayor and his team, for making infrastructure a priority. Thank you. Next, I would like to just talk about real quick. I want to make sure, I want to correct something. I don't know if I was clear last week or not. I made two resolutions for our Madam Clerk, Ellen, and Maria Lambert, saying they were retiring their positions. They were retiring their positions on the Pumpkin Fest. Maria as co-chair and our Madam Clerk as entertainment coordinator. They're still going to be involved with the Pumpkin Fest. They just resigned those roles on the Pumpkin Fest. Because if they were not still going to be a part of it, that would be a problem. So just wanted to clear that up for the record. They will still be participating with the Pumpkin Fest. They just resigned those roles they held for 20-some years, 20 to 25 years. So thank you for your service and still staying a part of the Pumpkin Fest. And on that note, with Pumpkin Fest, we need volunteers. You know, it's coming up in September. September will be here before we know it. So please, we need people to participate, volunteer. We're talking about re-imaging the Pumpkin Fest. We have Mary Drewer as our as the chairperson, along with Rachel Batu, who has the Flowers in the Mint downtown on Goddard. So they're working together on the Pumpkin Fest as co-chairs. So please, we need help on that day, on that weekend. So please lend your services. There is a Pumpkin Fest meeting tomorrow evening at 6:30. Please reach out to Mary Drewer. She has the details on the time of that meeting as we look forward to re-image our Pumpkin Fest. I want to also do a quick shout out to a couple of people. I want to shout out to Dan Bales. He has surgery this week. I want to continue prayers for his recovery, speedy recovery. Our superintendent, Benjamin Edmondson of our Romulus Community Schools, he had a surgery as well, so I want to keep them in prayer. And also for Mr. Barton and his family, he had to travel out of state for his mother-in-law, his wife's mom, so keep them in prayers while they're out there assisting his mother-in-law. I want to shout out, keep prayers on for our Councilwoman Virginia's aunt. So just know that we are praying for her as well, Councilwoman. And then we also have the Kinlock family as well. And then lastly, I know I've been going on, but I think, or maybe that was it. Nope, I guess that's it. Nope, that's all I have, so I'm sorry. I know it's supposed to be a short meeting. This was stuff all built up. I had to get it out. So on that note, I'm going to close the chairperson's report.
Support.
We need a motion to accept
You
the
wanna make that
chairperson's
motion?
I'll
report.
make the motion.
Thank
to
you.
I'll support it.
the chairperson.
Okay, thank you. It's been motioned by Ms. Williams, supported by Mr. Wadsworth to approve the chairperson's report. Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Welcome back, City
Yeah.
Council, Clerk, Deputy Clerk, staff, listening audience. It's been a long year.
Yeah.
Good to be back with folks, and hopefully, and to your point, a lot of work was done. We still have more work to do. So we're here in government to serve the people, right? So that's what we're going to continue to do, and do it face-to-face tonight. Hopefully, everybody had a happy Independence Day. That's why we're on a Tuesday night, but a lot going on. I do have some action items, if I could bring before council tonight. The first one's actually on behalf of our clerk. This one is a recommendation from Ellen Craig Bragg, our city clerk, and Gary Harris, purchasing director. This is to concur with administration and grant authorization for the mayor and the clerk to enter into the attached lease agreement with Detroit Metro Airport Center, LLC, for a 3,125 square foot temperature-controlled storage facility for the city clerk's office and police department. Monthly split cost of $1,236.98 until such time as a 30-day written notice of cancellation will be given by either party. Those funds have been verified and available out of both the clerk's office contractual services and the public safety contractual services accounts that are listed.
Madam Chairman, I will move that we approve the lease agreement between the City of Romulus and the Detroit Metro Airport Center, LLC.
Support.
Discussion.
Okay. It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb, for the, to concur with administration and grant authorization for the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached lease agreement with Detroit Metro Airport Center. Ms. Williams, discussion?
Yes, I have a concern. Now, this will be, they will be leasing the old court?
Go ahead,
I can-
Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Williams, I can answer that. No, we'll be renting space, leasing space from the Metro Plaza, the buildings there. We're outgrowing our current locations. And then the same with the police department. And right now, they're using Iron Mountain, which is becoming quite costly.
Costly.
You know, it's really, the cost is just not outweighing that. So we decided to partner together on a facility that would accommodate all of our records and storage needs. And then by sharing the cost, we're actually saving money in the long term, because what they're paying, what we're paying,
Right.
and it's just, we're really spending a lot of money. So this was a way of partnering, working with interdepartmentally, working collaboratively so that we can save money, be more efficient with, for our record storage.
Do we have a dollar amount that we would be saving, not using Iron Mountain?
I don't have that. I can get that for you, but I don't.
Because my concern is, we have an empty building, the old court. Wouldn't it be more sufficient to use part of that until we can figure out where the city is going with that building? I mean,
I can answer that. We actually have other plans for the building that we're hoping to get to you at some point in time, but it was not our intention to have it be for storage. It would be as a standalone operation that would actually generate revenue.
So in the future, I'm thinking, because this building, and especially since I'm not for sure and don't have the documentation to say what the dollar amount will be saving by not using Iron Mountain, I'm sure it will be savings, but you won't have to drive all the way up there to get paperwork.
Well, like I said, I can't speak on behalf of the police department as far as that actual dollar amount, but we all kind of looked at what, to accommodate our records and things.
Right.
And like I said, the police department would have to speak on their issues with Iron Mountain, but at the time it was Captain Monte, and we just kind of talked about storage space. And again, we're outgrowing, and we looked at several buildings so that we could, something that's going to be to save money, because we're looking at what we're spending, and so, what can we do so that we can save money? In fact, it came in a little bit lower than what we initially estimated initially. And again, this building that we're going to lease, again, temperature control, there's security, there's enough storage, even with our election equipment. We're just kind of busting out at the seams here. And then I know that for the chamber building, when I know that there's some plans for, uses for that, that Mary has some plans for that. So we want to kind of give up that building, free up that building so they can, put some good use to it. But this is a good solve for us, and we didn't just go and say, okay, we want this building. We actually we took our time trying to find this building and work out a price. And so we feel that this is going to be more cost-effective, especially with our next budget year. We got to spend a little bit this time, but we'll see the savings the next budget year.
So I'm looking at it saying, each party has the right to withdraw, like, within 30 days. I'm using my own words. So is the lease for a certain amount of time, or like a year or two?
Right now, it's just, we can have it until we don't need it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of unlimited. We didn't set a limit on it. We just said we'll take it, year by year and see how we're doing and things. So, and they were gracious enough to work with us. That's why they said if we needed to come out of the lease, we would have 30 days to do that.
Well, thank you so much for that information.
Okay, any more discussion?
Yes, I'd like to say something to the chair, if I may.
Ms. Knight?
And to the clerk, I want to thank you. I want to thank the administration. Per charter, the administration is to find a location for our records, for the clerk as well as the police department. So I thank you for finding that suite over there. And in response to my colleague's question, I believe it's around $5,000 to $6,000 per year savings. When I worked there as the records clerk and moved thousands of boxes from here to the police department and back. So at least I am so happy they have enough space now, and it's temperature controlled. And so that's something that we must have per charter.
Mr. Wadsworth?
No, I have no comment. Oh, to vote? Oh, yes, of course.
Okay.
I
Ms.
thought you wanted
Webb?
my opinion.
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you, council. The next action item is a request that came, recommendation from Chief Stannis, Police Chief, and Gary Harris Purchasing, and you've seen these before. This is for a piggyback, again, where he's taking advantage of quantity buys. So the request is to concur the administration and consent to a piggyback on the NCPA contract 02-60. That's for replacement of carpet in the hallways and report writing office room of the police department. The amount's $11,948.48. And then with Engineered Floors LLC, with the additional necessary supplies needed from ProSource Wholesale, and that amount is $1,055.12, and $6,750.00 required for the installation portion. Total binding flooring, total cost for project $19,753.60, and you can see those funds have been verified and available out of the public safety capital outlay account that's listed.
Through the chair, if I may?
Please.
I'd like to make that motion to concur with administration as stated by the mayor, with discussion.
Okay.
I'll support it.
Okay. It's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, to concur with administration and consent to piggyback on the NCPA contract number 02-60 for the replacement of the carpet of the police department at a amount of $11,948.48. Discussion. Who was, Ms. Webb.
Yeah, I would just like to say, I see that our police chief is here. If anyone hasn't been in that police department lately and looked at that carpeting, it is terrible. The amount of the carpet that's going in, because it states right here, the complete hallways, and that hallway is quite a distance from the door. And then they're going to recarpet the report, writing, and office rooms of the police department. If you put carpeting in your house, you're gonna pay this much or more. And the carpet at the police department does need a replacing. So I'm thankful that it was budgeted, because it's sorely needed. Thank you.
Ms. Mike,
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes, I would just like to say, I understand, I've been in the police department, and I understand that it need to be replaced, but I also, and I mentioned the old court before, I would also like for the mayor, the police department to look into getting into a contract to move our police department over to that old court. I mean, I really think it would be beneficial. $19,000, no, it's not a whole lot of money to replace the carpet throughout that building. I hope it's quality carpet, first of all. But it's time now, and I think when that court was built and the deals that was made, the police department should have been added in there. And I've been in the city since 1970, and I think it's time for the police department to move into a new building. I understand that the court said it would cost a lot of money to redo that building, and this is why they went with, the other decision to build the building. But we definitely need to, maybe not at this time, the carpet need to be replaced. I understand that it does need to be replaced. I'm not gonna go any further, but I think it would be beneficial to our city in the long run to look into spending more money or looking to find finance to move our police department into that old court. I support replacing the carpet and some of the other things over there. I see we got new chairs, so I think the officers and those that are walk through that police department need to be walking on new, fresh smelling carpet. So, yes, I agree. I just want to make sure that we don't let that building go in another direction and always consider moving our police officers there. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Williams. And I actually had a question about that too, Mayor. I think there's been discussion about long-term plans. I know this is a good start
Yep.
for the carpet, but
Sure.
what is the long-term
So
plan for PD?
we have looked at the old court building as both public safety, police, fire. We've done some studies on it. We have someone that Bob McCrate just took through with the chief that looked at the current structure of that building, and they had some pretty insightful comments on that. So you're right, long-term, trying to look at the best possible option for providing those services and having the right facility to do it, so. We look-
How long we thinking, though? I know
As
we've been
far
talking
as-
about this for a while.
We,
How long?
I haven't said that we're necessarily that it's a good fit to do that totally. There's some issues with it, without getting into all
Yeah.
the details. We could share some of the studies that were done.
Okay.
You know, some of it's feasibility, some of it is, you know, you've got two unique services too with police and fire, so, there would need to be quite an investment in that, but there's another option that we're hoping to be able to get to you, as soon as we can get to that point. We're in
Okay.
negotiations with, that would be a huge benefit to us as well,
Okay.
and to our residents, so, we've really had everything on the table.
Okay, so I just want to make sure, it's a priority.
Yeah, it's a priority.
Yeah.
There's not a time clock that's ticking that says we have to do something by a certain time, but our goal would be definitely within a year to have something to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any more discussion?
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The last action item, which is again along the public safety lines, is a request from Kevin Kraus, our fire chief, Gary Harris, purchasing director. This one is to concur administration and consent to extend the contract from ITB 20/21-05 with Davenport Masonry, Inc. for the repairs and final portion of that south elevation structure. Cost $51,700, and the west elevation structure repairs, the amount's $23,700 for that. That's for Fire Station 4, located at 28777 Eureka Road. Additionally, remaining budget allocation is for the contingency for unseen, which is the $2,300 for contingency. Those funds have been verified and available, that public safety capital outlay account as well.
Madam Chairman, I will move for the, extension of a pricing of ITB 20/21-5 for the masonry, for the Davenport masonry for the south and the west elevation of the structural repair of Station 4, and I have a question.
Support.
Okay. It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Williams, for the concur with administration and consent to extend the contract from ITB 20/21-05 with Davenport Masonry for the repairs of the final portion of the south elevation and west elevation. Discussion, Mr. Wadsworth?
And I guess it would be to the fire chief over there. Is this expanding, or are we replacing bricks that need to be replaced?
Kevin, you want to come on up, please? It's
Good evening, Mayor, Council. To answer your question, this is a replacement program. We phase this in 4 phases over one side of the building each year for 4 years. And it basically, the fascia of the building, the brick fascia, was separating from the block structure and crumbling and falling in some spots. So this is just re-flashing areas that we're allowing water penetration, and then re-bricking those areas as well.
Okay, fine, thank you.
Any
Thank
more
you, Kevin.
discussion?
Yes.
Oh, Ms. Williams?
Yes, I would just like to thank Kevin Kraus, our fire chief, because he did reach out to me today, and he broke it down that a baby could understand the seriousness of why this should be supported by the council, and so I thank you so much, Mr. Kraus, because when you called me, I just finished with Forgotten Harvest, and it was so hot out there today, I forgot who I was. I mean, but I understood everything you said, and I think it's a great thing that you're trying to fix buildings that need to be repaired up front before anything major happens. So thank you.
All right. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. That concludes my report, and welcome back.
Thank you.
Number 6 is the Clerk's Report. I do not have any action items, but I did provide a memo for you, just regarding, kind of a new service here we're implementing through the DocuSign contract. And it became effective July 1. And DocuSign offers a web-based platform with user interface where documents can be electronically signed and stored. And this current contract piggybacks off of the state contract. The total is $3,260. Therefore, an action of council is not necessary as the contract does not exceed the $12,000 threshold pursuant to Section 39-2 of the purchasing ordinance. The DocuSign will better enable the city to streamline internal processes as well as digitalize records and duplicate those records efficiently. This product will also greatly reduce the turnaround time for resolutions adopted by council where signatures of the council members are needed. I want to thank our Deputy Clerk, Deshaun Hockenhall. This was something he initiated, and just so that we can be more efficient in the clerk's office, so that we can get things signed and, you know, a little bit, I think it'll be easier for everyone, more efficient. So I thank you, Deputy Clerk. And this was his baby here, and it's off and running, so we just wanted you to be aware of this service that we now have.
All right,
So-
well, thank you, Dijon. I just wanted to say, you're impressive. Your whole team is impressive in the clerk's office. I just need to say that. Very impressive, thank you. And can you explain to me how this turnaround time for resolutions adopted, that signature fee, how would that work? We don't have to sign, what'd that mean?
I think I'm gonna have to let him answer.
Okay.
This is his.
I just wasn't
This is
clear.
his brainchild here, so.
Good evening, council, Mr. Mayor, of course, Clerk Bragg, and our listening audience. The turnaround time essentially is that we will provide you a DocuSign account in which you will be notified in which a document requires your signature. So therefore, it would not require you to actually appear here at City Hall. It would just require you to click and adopt your signature, and then we will receive that copy and then produce the final copy to be on our official resolution form.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay.
Wow, what happened to back in the day stamps? I'm telling you, I am excited about this.
And it definitely streamlines our process here within the city of Romulus. This is just a trial period. We only start off with a $500 envelopes, which are containers for you to submit documents. In that container, you can hold up to 120 documents. So we're looking at incorporating HR as we continue to move contactless and have contactless transaction. I believe this will definitely help HR in their hiring process and rehiring process and their training process. So I think this would be great for the city, and as we get more departments to adopt onto this, then we can expand the envelopes.
Very well
To
said.
the chair.
Yes, Ms. Williams.
I would just like to say, a true example as the young shall lead. Thank you.
Yes, very well said. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Deputy Clerk.
And thank you for the chairs, Madam Clerk. I don't know who
Oh,
facilitated
oh
that
my
process, but this is happening. This is, thank you.
I love these chairs.
That concludes the clerk's report.
Thank you.
And then our treasurer is on vacation this week, so that takes us to public comment. And this is the portion of the agenda for those that are in the audience, and if you would like to address city council, the rules to address city council can be found on the back of the meeting agenda. If you would like to address city council, we ask that you raise your hand, and after being acknowledged by the chairperson, approach the podium and state your name. Please note, members of the public who submitted a public comment card will be called upon first. You will have 3 minutes to speak, and any additional time will be upon the consent of the chairperson. Madam Chair, we do have one written request to
Okay.
speak, and that's from Ms. Barbara Stannis.
Ms. Barb, come on up. I know, right? We learning too.
Thank you, everybody. First, I'd like to state that the plot of land that we originally believed was owned by the golf course is in fact plot number 8001302000100 and is in fact owned by Willie and Teresa Washington of 6855 Dexter Street, Romulus, Michigan. I went to their house today. On my way to this meeting, no one was home. But I'm going to continue to follow up with them to make sure that they have indeed signed an agreement with Infinity. All right, I would expect the city to follow up with them as well.
If I could interrupt for 1 second, Mr. and Mrs. Washington have passed away
So they did.
within the last 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
You went to the house on, okay,
On Dexter Road.
right,
at the
correct.
very end of that
I just
area.
want you to know
So
that
their daughter
they
is
both
in
have passed
charge.
away.
They passed away, so I'll have to get back in touch with the
Okay.
tax assessor's office and find out who does indeed, who I should contact. All right? So if they've passed away, I guess my conclusion would be that obviously they do not have an agreement with Infinity because they could have signed one. Yet there is a sign there on that property. So that's still up for debate. We'll move along. Secondly, I verified through the city's tax assessment department that lots 125 and lots 126 of subdivision number 2 of the Fairways at Gateway are not owned by Infinity Building. They are in fact owned by Dowling and Nunley out of West Bloomfield. Now, Inspector Ron Osborne called me this afternoon to state that Infinity Builders just hasn't had the time to transfer the deeds to those plots. I replied, these lots are part of subdivision 2 and are not part of the agreement that was signed with Infinity Builders relating to signs on the Fairways at Gateway property. The agreement, which the court forced upon Fairways at Gateway, states that the signs on Durrell and on Lockmore must be removed within 10 days after a deposit was received on the last lot in subdivision number 4. As near as we can ascertain, the last lot in subdivision number 4 was completed in March 2021. Infinity has failed to respond to any of our communication relating to this matter, except to tell our attorneys that they do not have the time right now due to a family illness. Section 48 of the city code states that any sign that is not expressly permitted and is unlawfully installed, all right, is therefore prohibited. The sign on Durrell and Van Born, which Infinity states relates to lots 125 and lots 126, all right, was not specifically agreed to by Fairways at Gateway. This sign needs to be taken down immediately since it has not been expressly permitted and was unlawfully installed. Again, there are 2 reasons why the sign needs to be taken down immediately. First, Infinity has no agreement with the Fairways at Gateway for any signs relating to subdivision number 2, of which lots 125 and 126 were a part of. Secondly, Infinity is in violation of the only agreement for the signs with Fairway at Gateway, as the last home was completed in March 2021, and it is now July 2021.
Ms. Barb, you need a few more minutes?
One.
Okay,
Okay.
1 more minute.
In conclusion, we originally got into this mess because due diligence was not exercised by the city with this builder. While we did not want to agree with the court settlement allowing Infinity to use our property, we have adhered to that agreement. We are simply asking that the city now does its due diligence and take down the illegal sign. All right. We understand that pursuant to that agreement, the signs at the main entrance and Merriman Roads can remain in place until November of 2021. And I will again be back in front of you, all right, at that time to ensure that Infinity is held to be in compliance. Thank you very much for listening. Sorry to come here a second time.
Thanks, Barb. Ms. Williams?
I would just like to say this to Mayor. I know I checked and I asked questions pertaining to Infinity Home Builders. I live in Avalon Meadows, and they're over there finishing our subdivision. And to my understanding, they're in discussion of building over on the Merriman side of Gateway. So I'm sure the mayor can look further in it and get back with the information to you, because they're over in our subdivision, and I didn't like the fact that we had signs off of Wayne Road and also off of Ecorse. Had to remember where I live. But I do understand when a developer is in an area, they have to make sure that people that's driving by, and Ecorse and Wayne Road is high-traffic areas, just like Van Born is, that people know that there's construction going on in there. Far as the time frame and the building code, you know, the mayor office, I'm sure will look into that, but they also have big, huge signs at the beginning of both our subdivisions, and, you know, we as homeowners just have to deal with it until they're gone. I know they're on the last home in our subdivision, but with Gateway, because I have a daughter that lives over there, in Gateway, they still have areas where still need to be constructed or still can be constructed, whether it be homes or condos. So I just wanted to share that with you because we are a subdivision just like Gateway, and, you know, we have to deal with the signs also. Thank you.
That was the only written request,
Okay.
Madam Chair. And I don't know if there's anyone else in the
Anybody from the
audience that would like to.
I know all these folks, y'all ain't got nothing to say. No, we can move on.
Okay, all right, we close that part out. Takes us to unfinished business. And Madam Chair, if I may, I just have a little correction on the Pumpkin Festival meeting. I just got a message that it's next Wednesday.
You're right.
It's next Wednesday
You're
at
right.
6:30, and the meeting will be here in the chamber.
Gotcha. I
Okay.
apologize.
No, it's okay.
You're right, you're
No,
right.
it's okay. Just
Next
want-
Wednesday, what time?
Next Wednesday at
6:30 here.
Okay.
Thank you for that, Madam Clerk.
No. Is there any more unfinished business, council?
No, just that we're in process on addressing the sign issue, and we'll get the conclusion on that, so
Thank you, Mayor.
you're welcome.
Number 10 is new business. Number 11 is communication.
I said all I got to say. You go ahead, Ms. Williams.
Yes, in my conversation with the police chief, I was discussing with him and, you know, get a chance to run it by the mayor and his chief of staff. This situation with the flooding, the insurance companies, and, you know, not to be negative, but it doesn't make sense to have insurance, especially when you're dealing with our seniors. It doesn't make sense to have insurance and you're quoted one thing and then you go back and they say, you know, you're not covered because you needed the other one. So, I mean, I think council need to put our heads together and maybe write something up to our state reps and our state senators and also our governor, that they can look into what these insurance companies are doing to their customers. It's so unfair. And to just automatically tell them they have to wait on FEMA. And FEMA is saying, hey, don't put it on me. So I think as elected officials, we need to send something to our state reps and our state senators to let them know, because we get hit. You know, like in Detroit, they got the residents saying where the mayor should be responsible to give everybody $3,500. Well, how can the city afford to do it? That's up to the insurance companies, and those lobbyists, they shouldn't be allowed to get away with it. I'm not saying we're gonna get anywhere, but we at least need to let them know that we're watching, because when we have homeowners that are forced to leave their homes because they can't afford to repair them, that's a loss to us. And so, you know, if the mayor and the city attorney and the council can get together and write something up and we get it approved, to send it to them and say that before we get hit, because Romulus wasn't hit like Detroit and Dearborn Heights and Westland. So, I mean, I think that would be a really good thing to jump on it beforehand, because what's happening with these insurance companies? I mean, even with me, I had damage done to my home, and they acting like I live on the moon, like we'll do this, but we won't do that. And the purpose of having homeowners insurance is to make sure that you're covered, you know, for whatever damages, whether it be water, whether it be wind, and it just shouldn't be to the state reps, state senators, and the governor, not our mayor. It just shouldn't be all of these little clicks in there to where these homeowners, because most of the calls I'm getting are seniors, you know, and they got this insurance thinking they're covered, only to tell them no, because that came from inside, not outside, and if it came from outside, and it was an act of God. So we need to definitely, as a city make sure that our residents are protected before something like this happened in our city.
And I think our city does a good job being proactive,
Oh, yeah.
so,
Oh, yeah.
Steve and I will talk about it tomorrow.
Okay.
You know, there's FEMA ties into it with their governance because of the flood maps and
Yeah.
so forth. So it's complicated, but we'll talk it about over and see if there's any options that we would need to get together on legislatively.
Thank you.
You're
And then also, even though it's hot like we're in another state, like Florida, I appreciate it, I'm not complaining. Forgotten Harvest is still going on. So every Tuesday at 11 o'clock, all you need is your name and address, and just get in line and be willing to have patience, get your car loaded. As long as Forgotten Harvest is bringing the food, we're gonna give it out. Thank you.
Thanks, Councilwoman Williams.
Through the chair, if I may.
Ms. Webb?
I'd like to comment also on what my colleague, Mrs. Williams, stated in regards to the flooding. I don't know, but I do know, I don't know the year, but I do know that Bob McCrate was definitely in on the floodplain. And I would like to request if my colleagues would okay it, that Bob sit in on this, because he was there, he had all the maps, and I was down there, and it was quite a few years ago. And these insurance companies, if you didn't live in the floodplain area, you didn't have to worry about it. But now it's flooding everywhere, so, yeah, I think that our residents should be aware of the small print in their policies. And thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Madam Chairman,
Thanks,
Bob will
Councilwoman
definitely
Webb.
be involved in
if I could expand on what Mrs. Webb was saying, I believe that people were able to purchase flood insurance, but I mean, the cost was
Yes,
ridiculous. And I know he worked out a plan that helped these people out that they could still buy at a lower rate. But I mean, you know, I mean, some of them, their other policies were going from, you know, $1,500 a year up to $10,000 a year.
Right.
And that's not fair.
Right.
That's not fair at all. All right, thank you.
Ms. Williams?
And I know before this all came about several years ago, with them remapping everything, originally wasn't in the flood zone, and now I am. What I'm saying is that they're giving these seniors a plan, but when they actually need that coverage, they're saying, no, you don't have the right plan. So my concern is to make sure that our seniors, and even myself, is not being taken advantage of with these insurance companies. First, it was the car insurance, and now it's the home insurance, and we have to send a message to those that sit on the level higher than us that enough is enough. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any more communication from council?
I think we done.
No?
You got nothing to say, Mr. Wadsworth? I'm sorry, I'm just so, giddy about being back. I'm just kind of over the top today. Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
If not, that takes us to number 12, adjournment, and the time is 8:19.
Okay. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I just want to say this. Not only are myself appreciative of the new chairs, but I'm also appreciative of the new podium for the residents.
Yes.
So everybody gets something.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I just have one comment I should have stated, and then I'm gonna let you get out of here, okay? I'd like to thank the Finance Department for their memo with the requests that were made at the last meeting regarding the warrant. So
Amen.
I thank Maria and Victoria.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, it would totally be remiss of me I didn't say this. I know with all of the new microphones and the new system here, we have to give a shout out to Mike Laskaska.
Oh, my
Yes.
goodness,
Yes.
yeah.
Mike coordinated the whole, he
Yeah.
worked
Oh,
with
my
the clerk,
goodness,
with IT,
yeah.
and hustled to make sure.
Yes,
And it's been
nice.
ready for quite a while, but I think
Yeah.
you're gonna be impressed, especially with the technology that Mike has in place for petitioners and
Yeah.
developers and so forth. So got us state-of-the-art. Is
Yeah.
the best way to put it, and he did a phenomenal job, so,
And
thank you.
Thank you.
through the chair, we're using our talent. Mike has been here for, quite a few years, and now look what he's
Yeah.
doing. So we take our hats off to
to
you,
him.
Michael.
Mike, I know you're
Yes.
down there,
know
so
you're
we're
down
just
there.
saying, hey, shout out to you. I'm sorry, I'm just over the top today. We back in the chambers. Sue me. Who did the motion to adjourn?
So moved to adjourn.
Okay,
Support.
all right. It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb, to adjourn the meeting. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. West? Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. We are adjourned. Have a good evening.
Thank you.